Hello. Oh my goodness. It's been one of those nights I couldn't get my computer to load up and start the video. So we're just going to work with my phone tonight and see how that goes. It's always much harder with my phone because it's so small. But we're here. Welcome. Start by letting me know that you're here. Put something in the comments. Say hello. And hi, Lori. And we're just going to do the best we can with the lighting that I didn't set up for my phone and the computer that isn't working. We don't care, right? We're going to get some work done. In the spiritual realm, metaphysical, we call this, hi Susan, we call this the law of interruption. I always think of it as a testimony in reverse. The more trouble you have getting something done that you know you've committed to and is right and good, the more you know some good stuff can come from it. So we're going to start with that tonight. So welcome. I'm glad that you're here. We always like to start with a little breathing, especially when things like technology aren't working well. So let's take a couple of breaths together, breathing in and out. Hi, Sandy. Welcome. And let's do a little bit of tapping. Just kind of gets us warmed up. We start with the karate chop point. I'm sorry, I know the light is really sucky, but I had it all set up for my computer. We're going to do the best we can. Let me see if this helps. That's a little better. Even though there's a lot going on, as there always is in life, we're not going to be thwarted from our good intentions. Take a deep breath. Even though maybe we've had a really busy day or a lot on our mind, we're open and receptive to fully participating, calming our mind and our body and our spirit. Take a deep breath. Very good. Even though there's a lot of things that could be distracting me right now, I'm going to treat this as sacred time just for me. Time to shut the door on the world. Time to settle in and have a soothing hour for myself. And especially time to see what's coming up in my ego mind that is interfering with my peace. If there's anything I really want in this world, it is peace. Nice deep breath. Top of the head, open and receptive to all the peace I can handle. Can I get an amen? Between the eyes, I am open and receptive to new ways of thinking. Deep breath. Side of the eyes. I am open in heart and mind and spirit. Under the eyes, releasing the stress of the day. Under the nose, releasing the busyness of my brain. Come to your chin, getting out of my own way for a minute. Collarbones, when I'm all wrapped up and following what the ego is telling me. Under the arm, I'm getting in my own way. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Helen. Bottom of the ribs, I don't want to get in my own way today. Top of the head, I am ready and I'm willing to see what's interfering with my highest good. Susan's yawning already. Moving between the eyes. I love that. That's a good sign. Deep breath. Side of the eyes. Allowing all of our friends to show up and greet and meet us here. Remember, as you sign in, make a comment so I can see you. Hi, Barb. Under the eyes. Releasing resistance to my healing. Under the nose. Remembering that my ego is old news. Come to your chin. The stories I tell myself better be good and happy ones. Collarbone. If they aren't good and happy, I'm going to learn to rewrite them. That's what we do here. Right? That's what I do in everything I do at jenluther.com and the Ego Tamer Academy under the arm. Rewriting the old paradigms. Bottom of the ribs. That's the only way I can step into something new and beautiful. Nice deep breath. So good to have you here. It's lovely. Let me see if someone else has checked in. Please, as you come online, make sure that you say hello so I know you're here. As you know, my intention always for these Facebook Lives is to give you, it's like a house call, right? As I'm coming to you live in your home, you can be in your jammies. I'm going to do that one time, maybe at Christmas. And be very comfortable. Feel very safe. Feel very willing to be open and express what's holding you back in little bitty tidbits of conversation. And it's really powerful. My goal is to quiet that inner critic, that ego voice. And when we do that, you start calming the nervous system. And when the nervous system starts getting calm, suddenly your heart can be wide open. And when our heart is open, the flow of intuition, messages from spirit, feeling the presence of spirit becomes really easy and effortless. So what I wanted to do tonight was talk a little bit about how when our ego has a judgment, and it's usually against us, but it's a lot of times against someone else. When our ego has a judgment, I set myself up for perfectionism. Right? There's a scripture in Matthew, I believe it is, that says, whatever judgment I put on someone else, I subconsciously know I have to measure up to that now too. And the ego knows that, and it loves that, because there have been a million judgments flying off of us in any given moment. The guy that parked in my place, hi Terry. The guy that took my parking place at the grocery store. The cousin or the ex or the, right, we're cursing them with our hurtful, hateful thoughts, not realizing that our ego is madly taking notes about, oh, well, if this is my law and my rule, I'm going to turn it against myself as well. I better measure up. I better be perfect. And I better be careful because other people are doing the same to me. I want to be beyond judgment, which, P.S., that's impossible in an ego world. You can't get away from other people's judgments. That's how the brain works. Is this making sense? Give me a thumbs up or a heart or some smiles or something to let me know that you're with me so far. So what I want to do tonight is look at what are some of the ways that you've been frustrated with someone else, that you've been impatient, that you've been, I want to say, let's use the word resistant in the form of bitterness. I'm just going with what comes. Thank you for the feedback. Make a couple notes. Give me some comments in here about how has the ego been judging someone? Could be me. Is this perfect? Thank you, Helen. That is so encouraging that I'm tuned in. So just give me your phrase and the SUDs number. Don't have to tell me who it was. Don't even really have to tell me the whole line of what the judgment is. Just what the frustration is. They should what? Or they shouldn't what? Right? A lot of times it goes both ways. The first one that popped in my head is when I see a baby in the winter that isn't fully bundled, right? Doesn't have socks and 3 layers and a hat, and my head tends to go, they should do that like I'm the perfect mother and never did that. Okay, so Lori, we have, the word she's using is unappreciative, and it's an 8. Great start. Who else? And judgment or bitterness, they should communicate more. Good. And that's a 7. And if this is your first time, put a few words in there and give me the, on a scale of 0 to 10, how distressing that is. Terry says, I'm learning to let my main bitterness go, and I'm working hard at it. Sweetheart, I would love to have you consider that we could just release it by releasing the energy that's holding it in place. So I totally get what you're saying. I want it to be easy, right? Let's let it be easy. We're going to use the release bitterness. He thinks I'm not capable. That's a good one. That's Helen. Terry, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much bitterness is still in there? And we're just going to use these words. This is the beauty of this process when we do the ego tamer tapping. And let me just explain a little bit. The difference is I want to get myself out of the way, and I'm less following the EFT protocol where we're finding your words and we're digging into the story and we're getting all the aspects, and I'm literally trying to tune into source, your guidance, my guidance, intuition, whatever it is. So it works because the energy that we're all going to move all has something to do with each other, so to speak. So Terry, if you want to put your, on a scale of 0 to 10, the bitterness that remains on a scale of 0 to 10. Everyone, let's dance! Woo! Karate chop. Even though I recognize that I've been feeling all these hurt feelings, right? We don't resent or judge unless something hurts our rules or our, self-confidence. I deeply and completely honor my heart and my desire to be respected and feel valued. My heart's desire to be loved, to be connected and engaged in good communication. My heart's desire to be appreciated for who I am and what I do. I am so proud of the things I do, even if no one else gets it. Ooh, deep breath. That landed for somebody. Even though there's this part of me that feels resentful because I'm hurt, not feeling respected, trusted, feeling like you think I'm capable, or just even feeling that you appreciate all that I do. I recognize today that I probably would be appreciative and respectful. I would probably try to communicate and be proud of you. I'd like to be willing to release those people from rules I put on myself. Take a breath. Give me some love if I'm hitting any buttons there. Top of the head. These emotions come from pain. Between the eyes. Wanting to communicate. Oh, what a horrible thing. Side of the eyes. Wanting to be appreciated for what I'm doing. Oh, how awful. Under the eyes. Wanting to feel like you appreciate. Under the nose. Wanting to realize that you think I can. Come to your chin. More often than not. Collarbones. Egos attack us with their own weaknesses. Under the arm. Their neediness. Bottom of the ribs. They're wanting to feel special. It's a really important word. We talk a whole lot about that in the Ego Tamer Academy lessons. Right? Top of the head. Everyone take a breath. It's not wrong of me to want to communicate more. Between the eyes. Give me some love if you're feeling these. It's not wrong of me to feel resentment and bitterness if people have treated me badly. Side of the eyes. It's not wrong of me to want to be appreciated for my hard work, They're showing me life force for all the life energy I'm serving with that's not being acknowledged. There's nothing wrong with that. Under the eyes, there's nothing wrong with feeling like I want to feel loved and respected, trusted, capable. Under the nose, what a horrible person to want to feel loved. Come to your chin. What a silly thing that I'd want to feel like I'm a person and not just a possession or a slave. Collarbones. I had that today with a client, by the way. Sorry. Keep tapping. I'm going to tell you something. If you repeat it after me, that's fine. That there was a particular client I was working with, and we realized that she was being treated like a pack mule in a certain situation, that everybody would say jump and she'd say how high, and we tried to help her create some boundaries, take ownership of the things that, how she's enabling that to happen instead of her saying no and here's how we're going to do it and being firm within herself, right? Is that resonating for anybody? Under the arm. I'm not property. Bottom of the ribs, I'm not a pack mule. Bottom of the ribs, I love to give love and service. Between the eyes, but it doesn't feel good when it's not appreciated. Side of the eyes, I love to communicate and connect and engage. Under the eyes, maybe I'm asking a lot of someone. This is the really important part, guys. Under the nose, more often than not, come to your chin, the judgments and rules that I set up, collarbone, are things that I would do naturally. Under the arm, I would say I appreciate you. Bottom of the ribs, I would say thank you. Top of the head, everyone take a breath. I'm getting a little insight here. One of the ways that somebody, I'm not sure who this fits for, can draw boundaries is playfully but sternly. When someone does something for you, it feels like there's a whole community of this. Thank you for doing that for me. Right as you're going to model it, but with a little bit of pizzazz between the eyes. Not anger, not hatefulness, but just let me model for you what we do for people when they do something nice for us. Give me some thumbs up if that's resonating with anybody. Under the eyes. Releasing the hurt. Under the nose. Being careful not to say I'm sorry all the time. You know who you are, ladies. And some men. Come to your chin. I don't want to be the one filled with sorrow. Collarbones. I am not sorrow. Under the arm. I reserve I'm sorry for when I really feel like I've done you wrong. I'm guilty of this, y'all. So I know I still have to watch myself. And unfortunately, it's handed down. I have a daughter and a granddaughter that model it. And I go, oh, sorry is for when you've done something wrong, not oopie. Right? Excuse me, I didn't mean to do that. Pardon me, that was a mistake. Thank you for being patient while I was going to the restroom before we had to leave, right? Framing it differently in the positive. Between the eyes. Opening my heart and letting this grief go. Ooh, everybody take a breath. I want us to say that a few times. I want to open my heart and dump out this grief. Under the eyes, every grievance I hold is grief. Under the nose, every grievance is an unmet need, desire, or expectation. Somebody type that in there. Come to your chin. Grievance and grief are all about heartache. Collarbone, some kind of trauma, disappointment, shame. Under the arm, some kind of loss. A dream that I had for my life. A dream that I had for my relationship. Bottom of the ribs, it's obvious when someone dies and all that is gone. Top of the head, but we often forget that those things also show up when someone gets ill. Thank you, Susan. Between the eyes, we also forget that grief shows up when I'm deeply disappointed in myself or someone. Side of the eyes, when the job didn't pan out, when my debt gets bigger than I can imagine, when I feel overwhelmed. Hi, Sissy. Come to your chin, releasing this anxiety and sadness in my heart. Collarbone, whatever word I want to put on it. Under the arm. I realize that if I'm holding that in my heart, there's no room for love. Bottom of the ribs. I'd like to be open to the idea that I could see this differently as quickly as tonight. Nice deep breath. So everyone tune in. And re-SUDs on a scale of 0 to 10. And if you have a new phrase, put that in too. I think that's one of the greatest challenges of ego. Sorry, I'm trying to read my comments on the page. Yes, yes, yes. Lost dream. Grievances, right? We don't think about that, but every grievance. My teenagers give me grief. Not mine right now. My teenagers give me grief. My weight gives me grief. My health might give me grief. Right? Anytime I have a grievance, it's going to give me some grief. So they're going down a little bit. Keep posting your numbers. And if there's a new phrase, put the new phrase in. There's something that wants to come forward, and I'm taking a breath here to see if I can find it. Anger. Karate chop. There we go. Even though I still feel angry, and it's behind or holding up my resentment, disappointment, frustration, judgment. If I could just soften this anger, I could soften my heart. I'm open tonight to seeing this differently and releasing some anger. Take a deep breath. Even though I recognize that anger is a cry for love, frustration is a cry for love. Even resentment is my inner child crying for love. It starts as this cry for love that gets unmet in whatever platform. And then it turns into anger when it's repeatedly unmet. Hands up if that's making sense. Whole bunch of energy's running. I don't know if y'all are feeling that, but boy, my hands just, whoo, here comes the divine love. Top of the head. This anger is a sense of not getting my needs met. Fingers in the eyes. This anger is a sense of not getting my needs met. Side of the eyes. This anger becomes resentment when I'm trying to meet your needs, but I'm not getting it back. Doesn't matter what the formula is, right? Service, communication, money, under the eyes. It's easy to get angry when I'm giving and not receiving any back. Under the nose. Understanding that I may be asking a lot of this other ego. Everyone take a breath on that. Come to your chin, releasing this cry for love that they can't hear. Collarbone. I want to be creative. I want intuition to give me guidance. Under the arm. What, if anything, should I say or do differently to get my needs met? Bottom of the ribs. Is it even possible? Let's take a little breath on that. I feel like I want to explain what they're showing me. Is sometimes we'll have expectations of people that they really are not capable of. They either don't have the knowledge, the wisdom, the skill. They're showing me for a lot of the egos, it's that they really don't have the maturity. Somebody needs to write that down. I'm expecting a spiritual maturity out of someone that maybe doesn't have it. Yeah? Okay, so let's take a breath. Let's retest those numbers. And if you have a new phrase, if you're watching this by replay, please make sure you let me know that it's the replay, and please comment how this is working for you as well. And if there's someone you know that should be on here, that should be participating, feel free to invite them right now, have them come on in while we're having a minute. How are we doing with our numbers? They don't have the maturity, right? It's true. And a lot of times it's just the spiritual maturity, because if they're only coming from their ego, it's narcissism. Holy crap, I just hit somebody's button big time. I gotta let that settle for a minute. If they're only coming from ego, somebody type that in for me. It's going to be all narcissistic. It's going to be all me, 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 me. Because they can't get outside of the me. They are in that child personality self that doesn't have the capacity to see beyond getting my own needs met. Is that making sense? I'm expecting something from an ego that does not have the maturity or depth to give it. There we go. And talk about brick wall, boom, 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 right? And that's when we get to step back and regroup and go, is this even fair of me to try to expect them with their little shallow spirituality to meet me where I want to meet them without me helping them do that? Lori just said crap. That made me giggle, Lori. Barbara, big breath. This is where our spiritual beliefs are really important. Our faith is really important. Is if they're coming from their only wounded self, this is where I do what I call the Christian thing, and I try to forgive them for only having that part alive and active. They don't know any better, right? I wouldn't expect it of a 5-year-old. What is their spiritual maturity level? Is it all about me, me, me? I want to be able to forgive them. I want to be able to say, okay, you've shown me who you are. Spirit, help me know how I can meet them where they are, but not have to come down vibrationally, emotionally, spiritually to that level. Ego is all about me, me, me. And some of the other, I don't know if I've done it in one of these calls, so forgive me if I have, but ego is all about comparing. I call it the 3 C's, and somebody can type this in. It's in one of the Ego Tamer Academy lessons. Comparing so that I can compete. Right? Back to being, I want to be the special one. And then somebody's going to get condemned. I'm going to judge somebody as less than, not enough. That's all ego stuff. The God in me, the love in me, doesn't use that measuring stick. It wants to believe that we're all doing the best we know how. And if I can recognize their best may not measure up to my best because of their capacity for love, for forgiveness, for even patience. Somebody's showing me, they're showing me that somebody, their challenge really is about somebody's not patient and they're just demanding. And thumbs up, high fives, whatever. Give me some smiley faces. I could use some smileys. Just punch, 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 punch. Thank you, Susan. Comparing, competing, condemning. That's all ego stuff. That's all it knows. Because the ego is wired to look for danger. And danger shows up if I don't feel like I'm on top of the world and I have it all figured out and I can control it. Biggest joke we ever bought into from the ego, thank you, Barb, is this idea that I am really in control of anything, because we're not. Can I get an amen? We like to think we are. The only thing I can control, somebody can type this out, the only thing I can control is my response to the circumstance in the moment. I can't control what's happening. I can't control the other people. Heaven knows that for fact. But I can control how I'm going to react to what's showing up in the moment. That's where my spiritual self needs to be strong, is I need to be unshaken by the stuff the other egos are doing. Need is the wrong word, but it's just coming out of my mouth that way. For me to have peace, I need to decide how I want to feel. And if I want to feel love, it's got to be forgiving, compassionate, not demanding. That's a hard part for our own egos. You owe me. You should because I would. Are you with me? Give me some love. Let me know. Everybody have a drink of water. I'm toasty over here. I got to dress cooler next time. So how are we doing on our phrases? Should appreciate me in the anger. These were all coming down as I was watching. Give me your new phrases. If there's any new phrases, we'll do another couple rounds on what we have here. Even though there's this part of me, it's like my inner child that wants to be seen and heard and appreciated. I deeply and completely appreciate. That's all any of us want. We all want the same thing. Yay, Susan feeling better. It went from a 10 to a 6 to a 5 to a 2 in 20 minutes. I love it. Even though Susan's cooling off, all that anger went right out of her. She's feeling chilly. I realize that I just want to be seen and validated and feel safe and loved. I deeply and sincerely love and honor. That's what everybody wants. I'd like to be the one that can soothe myself, that can draw upon spirit, so that I'm not waiting or dependent on anyone else to give me what my soul needs. Somebody said that feels like a big step. It is a big step, but little by little we can get there. Take a deep breath, top of the head. I want love. This brother, sister, friend, this person wants love. Deep breath between the eyes. I want to be seen, appreciated for who I am. Side of the eyes. This other person wants to be seen and appreciated for love. Appreciated and loved. Guess what? I can't read or write while I'm talking. Under the eyes. I'm asking Holy Spirit to help me be more love. Under the nose. If I want better communication, come to your chin. If I want to be appreciated, collarbone. If I want to be heard and validated, under the arm. Help me give what it is I'm looking for. Bottom of the ribs. Help me heal, Lord. Whether throwing in a bunch of pictures right now, so let me just see where I can go with that. Even though I didn't realize how this was all poisoning my own system. These negative emotions are toxic to me. God does not live in a vibration of anger or resentment, bitterness, revenge. I want to live in an energy of love as best I can. They're showing me kids playing tag. I want that to be home base, right? You go home base for safety. That's love. Top of the head. Love is home base. Everyone take a breath. Between the eyes. Sometimes I need to ask myself if this is going to matter in 6 months. Side of the eyes. This thing that I'm so frustrated with, that I'm expecting right here, right now, is that really going to matter in 6 months? Under the eyes. Could I imagine that I could let it go? Everybody imagine that you're putting your thing in a balloon, a helium-filled balloon, whatever's left. Just let it go. You don't need to be holding on to that. Come to your chin. If I'm holding on to this, my hand is not open to receive goodness. Take a breath. Whew. Collarbone. It might look like a balloon. It might feel like a balloon, but it's creating toxic energy in my environment. Under the arm. And I know that because my ego wants to talk about it to me all the time. Thumbs up. Am I right? Bottom of the ribs. My ego will sit and tell me all the stories about how that was wrong and they should do it differently. And that creates this toxic environment for me. Stay on the ribs. Nope, we're going to come to collarbones. And the good news is I'm in control of that. I'm getting more and more able to watch my own thoughts. Take a deep breath. Thank you for the thumbs up. It's really helpful while I'm trying to read where everybody is. Everyone relax your hands. I want y'all to take and just sweep that energy out your arms. I don't know who really needs that, but it's good for all of us. We're just going to release that resentment. We're just going to release that frustration. Tune in to where you're at. Other phrases. Numbers are going way down. We've got a lot of 2s. If you haven't put your numbers back up, please put your numbers in there. Bitterness, thinks I'm not capable. A lost dream. And we'll do a round or 2. Maybe we might be feeling complete in 38 minutes. Very relaxed. Oh, you guys, I love this work so much. And I love all of you so much. And I really feel like I want to get this out into more people's hands. Karate chop. Ooh, don't be disappointed in me for getting lost. Even though my ego is now turning it on me. Say it anyway, folks, even if it doesn't feel like you. And if it hasn't right now, it will find an opportunity to do it later, because ego loves to condemn me. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Maybe part of my journey was meant to be me getting lost. Maybe part of my soul's growth was about experiencing resentment. I wonder if I could imagine that it was meant for my journey to feel bitterness and anger, sadness. Only by experiencing these things can I yearn for their opposite and try to create it. Top of the head. Every emotion is like a 2-ended stick. On one end, between the eyes, on one end might be the negative. On the other is the positive side of the eyes, the yucky feeling thought and the good feeling thought. Under the eyes, this is funny, they're showing me, I keep whipping myself with my own stick. That's ego, right? Under the nose, that's how my judgment goes against me. Kind of my chin. If I'm not perfect and I'm still hanging on to the stick, I'm going to beat myself about the head and neck with it. Collarbone, because an ego gets to win about that. Under the arm, it gets to keep me safe and small. Bottom of the ribs, but it's not safe and it's not small. I'm the universe embodied. Take a deep breath. Everybody relaxed. Lori, how's that feeling now? There was a sense that you were feeling disappointed, that you got lost. It was a 3. I hope you're not disappointed that you got lost, because it's not really lost. You can't be lost. Spirit knows right where you are. God knows right where you are. Even if you feel like you've lost yourself, this is all part of finding yourself again. Waking back up. Taming the ego is literally quieting that voice so that I can open to hear the voice, the inner voice of God that is in me. Lori feels relief. Awesome. Can you put a number on it? Barbara's at a 0. Woot woot. Let me tune in. It's feeling pretty quiet. And I'm not seeing anything that's jumping out at me. Sometimes it will. I feel like we might be good. If there's anything left that wants to be loved better, that's my job. Susan's almost asleep. Woo. Add your phrase, if there's anything left. It only blesses everyone, and it may be for someone later in the replay as well. So don't be shy if there's something left, but I'm feeling like we're just about there. Everybody's numbers came almost down to 0. Lori, I feel a yearning for faith that I never felt before. My SUDs is a 0. Faith is the #1 antidote to all of this. Being connected to Source is the only solution to the problems in this world. When I am connected and I have that intuition active and my spirit is speaking to me on a moment-by-moment basis, I'm safe. I'll know, hi Carrie, I'll know not to get on that train and go to the towers. How many stories did you hear like that? Right? All these people that just for one reason or another didn't feel like going, didn't get in that car, missed the cab. Nothing is an accident. And God bless the souls who, for whatever reason, I truly believe, sacrificed themselves in these horrible situations as well. But if we really believe what we say we believe, which is that everything has a purpose in God's world, that everything can be used for good, that's where I want to live, y'all. That's where I want to be, is I want to have that be my guiding light. They're showing me it's a little bitty lantern, but they're showing me this little lantern. It's all it takes to see my way in this world. And we feed that, and it becomes a big lantern, and pretty soon it becomes a lighthouse light, and pretty soon it becomes this glowing light that you walk in, and you emanate, and people want to hang with you. And the way is shown. Spirit is showing me very clearly for every one of us on here that has any kind of yearning, the way is already set. It's now our being able to put attention on asking for the directions, right? We're humble. We can ask for directions. Any remaining phrases and any SUDs numbers that are above a 0, it looks like everybody's zeroed out. That's pretty darn good in 40 minutes, y'all. I'm really proud of you. If you're feeling complete, as I am, I feel like we've done some amazing shifting and mindset and heart opening, which is always my goal. Quiet the ego, open your heart, tune into intuition. Lori's chill now. Me too, girl. I needed this too. It's always so lovely to come and do this work with you guys because I get to just play. This is my favorite way to play, is just do these little hat dance. You did good. God did good. We did good. We bring this energy with us. Let's share the news. If this helped you, please share this video. Please invite people to come to the page. There's so much pain out there. There's so much pain. And I really believe that we can be a conduit for healing and for faith. And for each one of us that can lift like this in a 20-minute period of time, the peace in our homes emanates to the peace in our schools, emanates to the peace at our work, emanates to the peace in our neighborhoods. It has to begin with us. We have to be the seed. We're being Johnny Apple seeds of faith and healing. And I'd love it if you'd help me plant those seeds. Thank you for joining me. Starting next week, we're looking at Monday nights. Give me a thumbs up if Monday nights are going to work for you so I have a sense of that. Same station, same time, 7 p.m. Mondays will be easier for me as I will not have a full day of sessions first. I'll have a little more energy. And each week we'll just pick a little topic and some phrases to play with. Thank you all. I look forward to seeing you next week. Be safe. Merry Christmas. We're coming right up on it. Be sure to stay engaged in the group. It's really helpful to all of us, I think, to have a community where we know we can keep these higher thoughts and ways. So, talk to you later. Mwah. Bye.